Hi students, now we are going to learn prose 3. The name of the prose is Deep Water, written by William O. Douglas. Now I am going to tell a few words about the author. The picture what you are seeing is a picture of William O. Douglas. He was born in 1898. He lived during 1898 to 1980. He was born in a place called Maine, Minnesota in USA. After graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in English and Economics, he decided to pursue a legal career. He became an advisor and friend to President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Douglas was also a leading advocate of individual rights. He retired in 1975 after 36 years service as a justice in the courts. And I am going to settle a few words about this chapter, Deep Water. Deep Water is an excerpt taken from O Men and Mountains by William O. Douglas, a leading advocate of individual rights and a justice in the court of USA. It reveals how, as a young boy, he nearly drowned in a swimming pool. He talks about his fear of water and thereafter how he finally overcame it. Character: William Douglas, the narrator, he as a child got afraid of water due to two frightening incidents in his childhood, but later on overcame his fear with full determination and willpower. The narrator developed an aversion, it means fear, to water at a young age. The narrator recalls a horrific incident that happened to him when he was 10 or 11 years old. He had decided to learn swimming at the YMCA pool, gave him the opportunity as it was very safe for him. It was only 2 or 3 feet deep at the shallow end, and while it was 9 feet deep at the other end. The drop was very gradual. In comparison, the Yakima River was a treacherous one. The narrator's mother continually warned him against it. She kept reminding him about the details of each drowning incident in the river. The narrator developed an fear or aversion, we can say, towards water at the age of 3 or 4 when his father took him to the beach in California. The waves knocked down him and swept over him. He was buried inside the water and was breathless. He was terrorized by a strong force of the waves, but his father had only laughed. The misadventure. The introduction to the pool revived the narrator's unpleasant memories and stirred up his childhood fears. Still, he tried to learn swimming by imitating the other boys. He was just beginning to feel at ease in the water when a mishap occurred. He went to the pool one day and found that no one else was there in the pool. He was timid about going alone inside the pool, so he sat on the side of the pool and he waited for some others to get in. Just then, a big bully boy came there. He was quite muscular. He picked up Douglas and threw him into the deep end of the pool. Douglas landed in a sitting position, swallowed water, and went at once to the bottom. Douglas tried to save his life. The narrator was frightened, but not frightened out of his mind. He made a plan to save himself from the water. When his feet would hit the bottom of the pool, he would make a big jump, come to the surface of the water, lie flat on it, and paddle to the edge of the pool. However, the 9 feet down seemed more like 90 to poor Douglas. He was totally out of breath when his feet touched the bottom. Still, with all his strength, with his courage, he made a spring upwards. He came up slower than he had thought. He opened his eyes and saw nothing but water. He started to panic. Douglas was suffocating and tried to yell, but no sound came out. A sheer shock terror. Then he came up to the surface and started beating the surface of the water. He tried to breathe but swallowed water and choked. Duckless, he tried many times to bring up his legs up, but they hung like dead weights. A great force was taking him to the bottom of the pool. He had lost all his breath. His lungs ached and his head throbbed, but he remembered his strategy. He opened his eyes and saw nothing but the water with a yellow glow. A sheer stark terror, it seized him. Terror that he knew no understanding. Terror that no control. A terror that only the one who had experienced it could understand. He was shrieking under the pool water. Only his heart and the pounding of his head said that he was still alive. Douglas told himself that he had to remember to jump. When he reached the bottom, he again jumped with all his strength, but his jump went in vain. It became useless. He was still lying under the water. The stark terror took him more tightly because he was not able to come up. The fight for survival is lost. Douglas describes how fear paralyzed him. His arms and legs stopped moving. He trembled with fear. He tried to call for his mother, but nothing happened to him. Suddenly, Douglas found himself coming out of water. He sucked for air and got water. Then he started going down for the third time. Then, with all his efforts ceased and his body went limp. It refused to move and work. A blackness took over his brain, which wiped out fear and terror. Everything went quiet and very peaceful. Douglas felt as if he was wrapped in his mother's arms. Then he fell unconscious after a minute. The next thing he remembers was lying outside the pool on his stomach beside the pool vomiting. The terror destroyed Douglas' social life. He tried to overcome it. Douglas couldn't eat that night. He seems to be very weak and trembling. He shook and cried on his bed. He never told to his mother about the incident that happened on the particular day in the pool, and also he never went back to the pool. His fear for water, it never allowed him to go. He feared water and avoiding it whenever he could. Whenever he went near water, the terror or fear that seized him in the pool would return to him and haunt him. The fear paralyzed him. This handicap stayed with him as years rolled by. It ruined his fishing trips and deprived him of the joy of canoeing, boat, and swimming. He tried his best to overcome his fear, but he did not overcome his fear. Finally, Douglas he decided to go to a swimming instructor. He went to a pool and practiced 5 days in a week, an hour every day, each day. The instructor put a belt with a rope around his waist of Douglas. This rope went through a pulley. The instructor held on to the other end of the rope. Each time the instructor relaxed his hold on the rope and Douglas went under. Some of the old terror returned and his legs seemed to be frozen. It took him 3 months to get over his fear. Then the instructor taught him to breathe while swimming. Next, he taught him to move his legs while swimming. Thus, step by step and bit by bit, we can say, he built a swimmer out of Douglas. Then he learned all kind of strokes, backstroke, front stroke, and everything. Douglas' will to live grew in intensity. After the training was over, Douglas wondered if he would be terror stricken when he would be alone in the pool. He tried many times, and tiny vestiges of the old terror did return. But now he was not all afraid. Douglas was still not satisfied, so he went to the Lake Wentworth in New Hampshire and swam 2 miles across the lake. When Declas was in the middle of the lake, he put his face under and he saw nothing but bottomless water. The old sensation came back to haunt him, but this time Douglas was strong. He swam and crossed the river. Yet he had some residual doubts. At first, his opportunity, he went to the lake named Warm Lake. He swam to the other shore and back. He was thrilled with joy as he had conquered his fear of water. The experience had a deep meaning for him. He explains that death was peaceful, but it was the fear of death that crippled a person. Here he has given some quotes of President Roosevelt saying, "All we have to fear is fear itself," because he had experienced death and the terror that could produce. His will to live somehow grew in intensity. I want to give the meaning of some hard words in this lesson. Treacherous, dangerous, subdued my, overcame feeling ashamed. Surf, a mass of foam formed by waves breaking on a seashore. Overpowering, it means overwhelming. Stirred, aroused, paddled, moved through the water. Aping, imitating, misadventure, misshape, brochure, bully, specimen, example, rippling, swelling, ducked, pushed under water, spring, jump, panicky, afraid, expending, spending or using up, irresistible, overwhelming, strike out, hit sharply, pounding, rhythmical beating or throbbing, oblivion, unconsciousness, curtain of life fell as if life ended, fooling, joking, locker room, changing room of the pool, icy, which can freeze, fishing for landlocked salmon, fishing for edible fish trapped by being cutting off from the sea, bass, a common term for many different species of fish, trout, a freshwater fish, back and forth across the pole, one way and the other across the pole, slack integrated, lessen or reduce, integrated, composite, crawl stroke, a stroke in which the swimmer lies flat on the water with face submerged and takes overhand arm strokes, which moves his legs up and down. Vestigious, traces or remains of something that is disappearing or no longer, which is exist. Thank you children. I hope you all will understand this lesson. If there is any doubt, you can clarify in the Zoom meeting session. Thank you.